that you kind of need at first glance. Tells you a little bit about, where the tax is going, lets you calculate your rewards based on the daily volume and how much you hold. And then it kind of goes into our ecosystem a little bit as well, talking about the rewards dashboard, the staking and pool farming, the NFT Marketplace, play to earn game, and the Launchpad. Not on there is the two projects that we have for later in the year, Project Walhalla, and the other one that we're still naming. But those projects are seen in the white paper, and we'll touch on those when we get there. So as you can see, the tax distribution is pretty straightforward. It's 14% total tax. This is kind of the money spot, we believe, for what tax should be. We see a lot of coins taxing upwards of 18, 20%, and 12 or 15 is going to BUSD reflections. And that's great and all, but truthfully, it's pretty shitty when you go to sell and you have to pay 20%. Just because they have 15% going back to holders. So we found that 14% is kind of the sweet spot. 8% will provide some nice rewards when the volume's pushing and the market cap's high. So that's why we chose that. And this tax is variable. So over the course of the project and the phases that we're in, we're planning on varying these slightly, shifting some from marketing to liquidity or marketing to buyback and burn. Just depends how we feel is best for the project and the time that it's at during that phase. Below that, you see a little tiny roadmap, very basic of some of our some of our utilities and when we expect them to launch. This goes all the way up to Q2 or Q4 of 2022. And that's just very brief. You can see a much more in-depth roadmap on our white paper. Then we have some information on how to buy, just the pre-sale rate, what it's going to be, and the public listing. If you didn't know, the pre-sale is happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And that's going to be whitelist for the first 10 minutes, and then it'll open up to the public. So we gave people about a week and a half to fill out the whitelist, and we got a lot of entries, a concerning amount of entries actually. So we're kind of going through those entries, and we're pulling all the winners, and we're going to email them and just clarify that their email is legit and they're not using a like a botted email or it's not a bot to get more entries. And then from there, that pre-sale will launch, and if it doesn't fill in 10 minutes, we'll open up to the public and go from there. Down below, we have the token distribution. So this is also fairly straightforward, just a little bit about how things are distributed before launch. As you can see, we have 37% locked. This is going to be used to fund our utilities such as staking, pooling, and the play to earn game. The reason that we have this and we haven't burned it is simply because when you have a utility like staking or farming, you need tokens to back that utility. And so this is going to be the way that we fund that in the first phase when we're just starting the staking pool, or when we're just starting the game. This is how we're going to this is what we're going to use to fund. And this will be locked for an X amount of days. It's not going to be locked for 2 years because obviously if we need staking like after the first week. So we'll lock it for like a week, and then when we deploy staking, we'll get the necessary tokens in the contract, and then we'll relock it for 2 or 3 months until we expect to finish our marketplace or our other utilities, and then we'll just go about it like that. And you'll be able to see that lock on BSC scan, and we'll provide the link to the lock as well. Then you can see we have 5% to team and founders. This is vested over 2 years, which means every 30 days, 0.2% of that's released. We thought that to be fair and reasonable, given that the current position of the market and that kind of thing. It's unfortunate launching in such rough waters, but with this vesting, it just kind of provides investor safety to know that we're not just investing and then taking money from the pre-sale and team tokens and just leaving. Then we have V1 holders. So if you don't know, we had a previous version 1 called Micro Santa. And that was launched back in November of last year. The little backstory on that is basically it was launched, the poor planning on the development side of things, and the team, the main developer kind of launched it and just didn't really want to do anything else with it. I tried to run it myself and make things work, and it was very hard given that there was really only one person left on the team. That was myself. So that's when Malix contacted me, and we kind of started talking and planning how we can create a project that's has utility and will be around for a long time. And then you can see we have 3% for marketing and strategic partners. That's just kind of to get us off the ground and going. We don't foresee that being an issue after the pre-sale, as we think we'll have the right amount of funds for what we're needing to do. And then we have the pre-sale and how much goes to liquidity and all that good stuff. And then at the bottom, you just have some simple questions. And after launch, we'll be getting a video up on the website on how to buy a step-by-step for buying onto PancakeSwap. We're also going to be launching on Flues. If you don't know what that is, it's a app that you can trade tokens on super conveniently, and we'll be listing on there and putting that directly in our website so that you can buy through them if you don't want to go through the hassle of dealing with PancakeSwap, etc. So jumping over to our white paper, it's also pretty straightforward. If you give it a read, it's all very clear what we're going for. We'll jump down. This is basically just an introduction and kind of an abstract of how things works and how the contract kind of works. But then we touch on our mission and our values. Basically, what we're all about is transparency and trust. There's a lot of projects that die nowadays because of a lack of transparency or trust, and there's a lot of projects that die because they don't hold true to what they have planned. So we're trying to set our scope, and we've studied this for a long time, to set our scope of possibilities in the realm of reality. So nothing that we have planned is not doable. It's going to be the first time in the crypto space that it's been done on the size of market that we plan to do it on. So that's kind of exciting, and that's what sets us apart from other crypto projects and rewards projects in the space. As you can see, though, it's all about transparency, longevity, integrity, community, and innovation. It's pretty straightforward to create a cryptocurrency project. It's not hard. Probably anybody can do it, but it takes a real team and a dedicated team to run that thing to the moon and put in the hours and the work needed to get it where it needs to be. And that's all based on the connection between the community and the team, and having that transparent aspect so that they know who's running it and they can trust their word and their plans. Further down the road, we see a little intro on some of our utilities. The first one being the rewards dashboard, the app, which will include our staking and farming, and a little more info on the coin itself, and like your holdings, how much you receive on rewards, and the total amount distributed. As for the staking and farming, so basically what we have set up is a series of staking pools, some that will be stationary tied to MetaReflect, and some that will be rotating, which means that they'll be tied to other Binance Smart Chain projects. The way we plan to choose these projects is going to be through a DAO system, which basically means that lets the community vote on the projects that they want to see and that they want to earn income from when they stake their MetaReflect. These rotating staking pools will last about 2 weeks, and they'll provide, as I said, rewards in that currency of the other Binance Smart Chain project. The way we plan to do this is we have multiple locking days. You could lock for 5, 15, or 30 days, for example. And depending on which lock or stake option you choose, you'll earn more or less APY. So if you're just staking freely with no lock, you're going to earn the least amount of APY. And the reason that is because when you lock for 30 days, it means you kind of have to hold for 30 days. It's incentivizing you to hold for 30 days. And the more people we have doing that, the less selling we have. So that's why you're going to receive a higher APY or APR. And if you lock for 30 days, it doesn't mean you're going to be stuck in the contract for 30 days. We will allow you to pull out of the contract after 30 days. However, there will be a fee in doing so, or before the 30 days. However, there will be a fee in doing so. So if it's kind of tiring for you and it's been 10 days and you don't want to wait, then you can pull out, but there will be a fee taken in MRF to fund the staking pools. So that's just one of the ways that there's going to be tokens going back into the staking pool from people that don't wait the full amount of lock time. And the same will be true for the farming aspect of it. And we'll also have a stable coin such as BUSD or USDT, as we were talking about in a prior AMA today, just with how staking works and impermanent loss and how the currency can devalue while you're staking. So we'll have a BUSD option as well, just so you can earn something a little more stable for your staking. Next, we have the Nft Marketplace. Basically, this is going to be a place where you can buy, sell NFTs. And the way we're envisioning it is that we can take these NFTs and use them in our play to earn game. You can also take them and sell them on the open market. And this is extremely beneficial because it's going to provide just another way for you to make a little more money and earn a little more MRF. These NFTs are going to be stakeable, which is the exact same concept as staking tokens. You'll earn a reward on your NFT, and there will be no lock time on that or anything. It'll just be a fixed APR or APY for each NFT, and that's how much you'll get. Next, we have our play to earn game. So this is where our NFTs are really going to be utilized in the play to earn game. It's super easy to think of a play to earn game and think of Sandbox or something of the realm. That's an extremely big metaverse project, and it's a little out of reach for what we plan on doing. However, the game will be very, very beneficial and fun for the users that play it. You'll be able to battle other players and complete missions, and all while earning tokens and or NFTs from that game. And then, of course, you can take those and trade them back on the open market if you so please. And going off the NFT Marketplace, this is the start of this NFT Marketplace is kind of the base for something for our utility that we're planning at the end of Q4. That's going to be on a much larger scale, and it's just one of the key ways that we're going to be generating revenue and putting back into MRF. Further down, we have the Mrf Wallet. This is going to be a fully integrated wallet that you can have on your app, iPhone, Android, or you can use on the web. You'll be able to buy, sell, and swap your crypto. And this is, I'll show you a little snippet of the dashboard later, but this is going to be exactly like the dashboard, except you'll be able to track your real-time earnings based on your holdings and how much you've gone up or down in the last X amount of days. So that'll be super useful. Just a wallet that's intuitive, easy to use, something like Trust Wallet or MetaMask, but without the hassle of Trust Wallet and a little more intuitive than MetaMask and having to use PancakeSwap and all that. Next, we have Project Walhalla. So this is one of our flagship projects. This is one of the ways that we're planning on generating revenue through more than just MetaReflect community, through the community of cryptocurrency in general, and in the whole broad spectrum of it. The details on this project have been released to the team, but being released to the public, this will be released in tidbits kind of as time goes on. The reason we're not releasing it all at once is because we don't want another team, maybe full of 30 people, to pick up on it faster and reproduce it. So we're trying to make sure everything's in line and we have what we need to have set so we can release that to the community and have a working prototype in place. Next, we have the tokenomics, which was seen on the first page of the website, as well as the tax allocations down below. Then it explains a little bit about the tokenomics, the BUSD reward. We chose BUSD just because it's a stable coin and it's super convenient earning in a stable coin. Kind of similar to, you know, staking and earning a stable coin. When you're earning BUSD on your MetaReflect, it's just that much better than earning more MetaReflect or another token that could be worthless in a month's time. Then we have our anti-whale. This has actually been dropped to 0.125%. So basically what that means is nobody will be able to transact more than 0.125% of the total supply at once. So of course this doesn't stop them from doing multiple sells, but it will kind of give us a trigger on when whales are trying to get out, and hopefully give us some time to get in touch with them, get in touch with that wallet, and see if there's another way they want to go about things. This is super useful just because, you know, if there's pre-sellers that are bag holders and the supply gets up to 50 million and whatever, like, it's just nice to have that feature in there so they're not able to sell off all at once and cause a lot of panic. Next, we have the anti-rug. So basically, this is just our 2-year-long vesting cycle, which is, of course, where we're paid out in tokens over the course of 2 years, every 30 days. And this is just important to kind of show that we're in this for the long run. We're not trying to take these tokens and dash. We want to show the community that we're here to stay, but also it's kind of something that it's like 0.5% or 0.2% every 30 days is not going to be a drastic amount, and certainly we're not going to be selling those on the open market or causing any problems. If not, I probably lock them back up depending on, you know, the state of the market and how things are going. Then we have the marketing fee, which, as stated previously, was 4%. So that's what it's going to be for the initial phases of launch. We're really hoping that helps in building the marketing wallet and really funding the whole ecosystem. We are open to change this and probably will decrease over time, might move some to rewards or liquidity, just depending how the token's playing out and what we see needs more in terms of taxes. Then we have a super in-depth roadmap. Only for the year of 2022, this will be expanded. But basically, in Q4 of 2021 is kind of the initial setup, the design of the project, the team, all that nitpicky stuff. And then Q1 of 2022, this is our pre-sale and public sale launch phase. So this was when we got our KYC, our contract audit, and all that good stuff, such as like initial marketing and AMAs, and then after launch, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. Then we have Q1 also. This is like the second phase of Q1. This is where we're going to be launching our D app, and rewards dashboard and staking. So for our staking is going to be launched within a week and a half after the launch. Once we get the contracts finalized, we're going to get them audited. So hopefully that audit doesn't take longer than that. It should not. But once those get audited, we'll post them on the D app, and then people will be able to start staking. This also gives us some time to gauge the market cap and gauge the volume and the fluctuations in the price to make sure it's relatively stable above a certain market cap before we launch that staking. Then we have a really big marketing push in this phase as well. This will be announced right after public sale. So tomorrow or Friday, this announcement will go live. And this is something that we're super excited about. Going to be bringing MRF to a good handful of investors that are super passionate about cryptocurrency. So we're excited about that. And then further beyond in this phase, we have more audits, hopefully from Certic and some higher companies like Desert Finance. And then also, after the staking is launched and we prove it to be successful with our native token, we'll start making connections and listing other project tokens. We already have one partnership lined up for this staking, but we are not going to be listing them immediately just to make sure that things are working as we expect before we start listing other projects. And then Project Walhalla, it's already in development, but this will be when we start to release some information about the project and what it's going to be and how it's going to generate for our project and how it's going to help us immensely. Then Q2, we have release of our NFTs in our Nft Marketplace. Hopefully by this time, if not earlier, we'll have our Walhalla teaser out, or a beta, so to say, and that will be in the hands of a group of testers using it and letting us know what needs to be fixed and what needs to be perfected before we release it to the masses. And then also we'll start development of our play to earn game, hopefully finish that by Q4 of 2022. And then we'll be continuing marketing in mainstream media, public or press release, social media such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We have a YouTube marketing campaign set to launch at launch, and that will be spanning a couple weeks, and then we'll continue our release through influencers and etc. And we'll also be working on listings this whole time after launch. We're already trying to set up some listings for after launch and beyond. So hopefully the way it works is that we start with the small listings and then work our way up and ramp on to the bigger listings and the bigger exchanges. So now we can jump over to the dashboard for a little overview. So this is our dashboard. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to be able to come here. It'll be linked to our website. So you can come here. You'll be able to see your wallet, how much you're holding, what you're earning, and the 24-hour volume. And you'll also be able to see the total amount distributed in BUSD. And then the rewards are automatically sent to your wallet, but if you don't want to wait an hour, you'll be able to claim them manually here. And then further down the road, we have a little bit more about our features, the rewards, staking, the swap, and this will be obviously updated, the wording and such updated before launch, but this will be so you can learn more about what each feature is and how it works. Then we go over to our staking tab. So this is where you'll be able to stake and put your tokens in farms. We're going to have obviously the stationary staking pools, and then we'll have the rotating staking pools. This is pretty straightforward in terms of staking. You'll be able to connect your wallet, connect it straight here to whatever pool you want to stake in, and then you'll be able to see details on how much you're staking, what you've earned, and all that good stuff, and the dollar value for how much MetaReflect you've earned. You'll also be able to view the contract of these of each staking pool. and you'll be able to view inactive staking pools as well, just to see maybe what projects in the past have worked or been hot, and what projects maybe aren't working now. Then down below we have the farms, which is the same idea. You'll have the stationary farms, and then you have a list of rotating farms. Same thing goes. You'll be able to see, how much you're earning and what the BUSD value is, and then you'll also be able to see it on the inactive tab. And then over to the analytics. So this is going to show basically MetaReflect kind of as like a price chart in a sense. So here will be kind of a chart of the coin. This will be a chart of its volume. This will be its total market cap. It's how much it costs per trillion coins, and then the total value burned, the total value staked, and all this information is based on the token itself. So like the total value burned will be for the entire project. Total value staked will be for the entire project. When we release the wallet and this information, it will look very similar, except this information will be more geared towards your wallet. So you'll be able to see how much you've staked or how much you've earned since your purchase and that kind of thing. And this is just a nice touch to come and see the trend lines and see what's going on. And it's also nice to see how many people are staking and how much we've burned. And then over on the left, you'll have the about, which takes you right back to the website. You'll have the Telegram, which takes you to our Telegram, and then you'll have Twitter as well. So with that combined, this is basically the introduction to our dashboard. As we build it out with things, that there will be more added here, or there will be more things updated here. But this is the initial workings of it and how it's going to be on launch or shortly after launch. So we hope that's something that people utilize and come to see, how much they're earning and see how much has been burned and distributed. And then when staking opens up, this will be a nice handy place to come and earn even more either MetaReflect or other projects on your tokens, and do that and be a diamond hand holder. So yeah, that's basically an intro of our project. I guess not an intro, pretty in depth of our project. We're super excited we have so many announcements lined up, and we want to make them like all right now, but we're trying to kind of hold off and time them right so that we're not blowing it all on one load. But we do have some big announcements coming immediately after launch, and we are supposed to be doxed by this time, but we'll be doxed after this meeting now. So we'll have all that stuff up on our website, up on our socials, and yeah. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm Malik. If you have anything to touch on, which probably not, but
most likely, right?
yeah, I kind of touched it all.
Perfect. So you guys were talking about the partnership. How did you decide to get in touch with this group or project? And have you worked with them in the past? And how does partnering with this project further bolster the success of your project?
So the first partnership that we plan on having, it kind of formulated just because we were in touch with the owner of that project kind of before he started his project, and then he launched his project, and we were working on the design of our project and how these pools are going to work. And his project, it was very successful up until about very recently when the whole kind of market shit. But his project is unique in its own way. It's a rewards token. And it's very unique in what he's trying to do in the spaces that he's trying to reach. So we kind of just reached out to him, and we were like, hey, like, this is what we want to do. And he told us that, that's something that he's interested in, and just to talk to him after we launch and when we're ready to set it up. So that's kind of how we chose our first project. And the benefit of using rotating staking pools is kind of to reach a bigger market in a way. The community of one project that we partner with may be a group of different investors in our project, so it'll bring awareness to both of our projects. But also, we're hoping that these staking partnerships form into bigger partnerships. Aside from staking, we're hoping that they turn into even better partnerships. But the staking partnerships are extremely beneficial in kind of utilizing each other's communities and efforts and spreading the word to more people that way. But the partnerships will, be decided by the community when our DAO is set up. So that's just kind of something that, you guys, a group of you guys, will be deciding on. And then, of course, we'll back check the project and see if it aligns with what we're trying to do. But ultimately, it'll be left up to the community after that DAO is set up.
Perfect. And then I was looking at your dashboard. I didn't notice it before. I saw that you had the Twitter link. So is this kind of a way to bypass the pinned portion of Telegram? Because we all know that when projects are in the first 24 hours, or if they get really heavy with traffic from people, you get pin after pin after pin, and it's really hard to find and keep up with things. By having a Twitter link there, are you guys planning on making that your major announcements, or maybe putting your shill group in there and saying, hey, this is what we need to get presence and continually keep us at the top, so that way people are checking out the project?
Yeah, so especially within the first 24 hours when things are hectic, there's going to be a lot going on and a lot of things will be missed. We're kind of utilizing Twitter as our major announcement social media platform. So anything pretty major that would be pinned in the Telegram group is also going to be posted on Twitter. That's not to say that Twitter won't also be used for, hype things and hype videos and other things like that. But anything posted on Telegram or pinned on Telegram will be forwarded to that Twitter, just like pinned at the top, so it's a little easier to find. But also, we're trying to. I know some groups get trigger happy with pinning things, and it makes reasonable sense because it's nice to have a list of things that you can go through in a way. But we're trying to limit the amount of pins that we have. Unless it's an important announcement, where we're trying not to pin it. And we're gonna probably like when that pin section gets like ungodly long or 100 pins or something, we'll probably just remove the pins and then add more pins. I'm not really a big fan of that. However, it's just a lot easier for people to find things instead of having to go through 500 pins. But I think the biggest thing is that all important announcements will be made on Twitter, and we're going to try to limit the amount of unnecessary pinning to the Telegram group.
Are you guys planning on doing any incentives for some of your larger bag holders, or what's the plan with that? Do you have any special Telegram groups you're planning on setting up?
Yes.
Maybe insight on the project.
Yeah. So we for our large bag holders and our whales, we're going to have a separate group chat for them where you can verify your wallet and join that Telegram based on if you hold a certain amount. We also do have a Discord set up, and the same concept is in there. We have different roles for how many tokens you have, and you verify that through collab.land, and it checks how many you hold and gives you that role. But with the largest holders, the whales, so you want to call them, we're going to have a special group that is more than just a group for them to chat. It's kind of going to be a group for them to take part in the discussion and be a little more involved in the team aspects of things. So we're hoping that kind of brings together and brings together the people that are holding large amounts, and then really gets a good group of like-minded people and people that can spitball ideas and get things rolling on top of those in the team.
Perfect. I'm going to let some other people ask some questions, and then I'll ask some more here in a little bit.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, Malik, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
So looking at the roadmap, you have in Q1 2022,
Yep.
there's a line that says huge partnership announcement. And you also have partnership with other projects staking and farming. Is that the huge partnership announcement? Is that separate? Is that for different
Yeah, it's a
reasons?
separate thing.
Is that tied
Yeah.
with the staking and farming?
The huge partnership is going to be separate. That's not necessary. Like it will entail the staking and farming. Like it will entail them being on the staking pool, but there's more to the announcement than just staking and farming.
Okay, and you guys planning to release that pretty soon here because Q1 is like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we're focusing on launch obviously first, and we were told by the other project to get our launch secured before we make any announcements. But like the roadmaps are they're great to give you a timeline of when things are happening. But if something doesn't happen exactly when we stated it for whatever reason, like we'll make that very clear to the investor. It'd be nice to follow everything to an exact T, but things do happen and things do get in the way. So if that announcement's not made by Q1, then we'll release information on it and we'll tell you about when it's going to be announced or what it entails.
Okay, let's see here. Now, I do have another questions. Okay, you mentioned that your P2E game will be finished on Q4. Is that correct?
Q4 of 2022. Yes, that's when we're planning to finish our play to earn game. Our initial developments are starting in Q2 when we're actually going to start the development of that game, and we're hoping to finish that by Q4. So yes, that's correct.
Okay, so what about the Valhalla? I see that you said you guys mentioned Project Valhalla initial development Q1. Then there's a follow-up. You talk a little bit about the details of Q2. What do you anticipate when the complete the whole thing is complete by then?
So the initial development for Project Walhalla has already started in a sense. The release in Q2 of Project Walhalla will be a beta release of that utility. It's not going to be released to the full public just because we need to test it and see how these things work before we release it to everyone. So that release in Q2 will be a beta, so you want to say, and then if everything goes well with that testing group, then it should be released no later than Q4. If there's more issues that need to be fixed or touched up, then we'll obviously have to make that apparent and let people know that we're making the necessary changes, because we're not going to release it unless it's absolutely perfect.
Okay, yeah, sounds good, man. Yeah, one thing about projects now, that, as you already know, is that you guys have to be mindful of the developments between, right, to keep the momentum going, right? So
Yeah.
looking at the map right now, we're in Q1 right now, which is a week away or 2 weeks away from Q1. It seems that the biggest utility that you guys have, which is the Valhalla and the play to earn, right, in Q4. Well, that's the planned date for you guys, which is not in concrete. You're looking at 6 months away. So I think you guys have to be a little bit mindful that the momentum has to be kept up.
Yeah, and we have other marketing aspects and ventures to keep that momentum other than simply releasing a utility such as Walhalla or the Play to Earn game. It's not like we're not going to do anything until that stuff is released. So we're going to be constantly marketing and finding new aspects to cover during that time frame, as well as listings on CEXs and that sort of thing. So if you're kind of wondering about, making it till 6 months and making that hype till 6 months, I guess from the standpoint of knowing exactly what's coming and when it's coming, I don't see that to be an issue, just because I think it's something really beneficial. Again, I could be biased because we're the ones creating it, but I don't really see that as an issue, the timing of things necessarily. And
Okay, yeah.
and yeah, and the roadmap, like it's the roadmap. It's great to have all those things exactly perfectly where you want them, but as always, life happens, and anything that changes will be made very clear and apparent to the community. Like for example, the markets are not in the best state right now, so given how launch goes and how the first week after launch goes, we'll keep everyone updated on when things are expected to be finished, and we're trying to get them out as fast as physically possible.
Yeah, I think being transparent and I did see you guys' values and integrity, transparency, that which those things are great. But also just understand that as investors, there are many projects out there, right?
Yeah, no, we understand that. I'm an investor myself. I do understand that, and I understand the want to go find other projects, but I think it's kind of a balance between releasing the information that makes you guys want to hold, versus just having it ready and dropping it, if that makes sense. So I think once we are ready with that version, for example, of Walhalla, and once we release that information about the project, I think that will be something that entices people to hold, even if there's no beta in line yet.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for the answer. I'll go ahead and let somebody else ask questions.
Yeah, no problem.
I had a question about your staking.
Yeah.
I saw in the picture that you had up earlier, you had both look like liquidity provider staking, where you have pairs of tokens, and then you had individual token staking. Then I see that in your website, you mentioned that your primary liquidity pool with the 1% tax allocation will be BNB and your native token. Whenever it comes to the liquidity pairs, do you have any plans on what you might be offering? One thing I like to see in a project, especially for long term,
What's up?
is a stablecoin
That's pretty
pair,
funny.
so that you're not completely dependent upon
Come on,
BNB
this way.
to maintain a stable price. You have something a little bit more stable whenever the market dips hard.
Yeah, we'll have a stable coin pair such as BUSD on top of something like BNB. The stable coin pair will definitely be there. I thought I had stated that, but yes, we will have a stable coin pair.
Okay, yeah, I might have missed it early on in your introduction and whatnot. I was kind of distracted between multiple things.
Yeah, no worries,
The
no
other
worries.
question, you mentioned the unlocked tokens would be for the funding of the staking. Am I correct?
Yeah, so they're locked tokens, but they'll be locked in phases. So like 37%, the whole supply will be locked for the first like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, for until we anticipate our release of staking, and then they will be used to fund the initial staking pool, and then the rest will be relocked until we anticipate the finish of our play to earn game. If that
Awesome.
makes
And
sense.
then the 4% tax with the community management, does any of that go towards staking, or is it all going to be the fixed reserve that supports all of the different staking and liquidity providers that you're going to be unleashing?
What do you mean? Like you said, does it go towards staking or does it go towards the reserve?
Yeah, like is it just is it going to be fixed transfers from your tokens that are allocated to staking, or will part of the tax actually be used to maybe buy tokens through the tax and then to allocate the native token to people or whatever it's rewarding them in?
So it will be the latter version, yeah. It won't be like a fixed buying. It'll be part of the tokens will be allocated, as well part of the tokens, if needed, will be allocated towards other forms of marketing and like public awareness, so to say.
Okay, thanks.
You mentioned you mentioned doxing after this AMA. Is that going to be on the website, or is that something that you guys would do on live video?
That'll be we'll post things on the website, and then we'll also hold a video. I don't know if we'll hold the video chat to tonight. We might hold it tomorrow morning, but that'll also video chats will be happening after that.
Okay, and you're thinking doxing after the pre-sale or before the
No,
pre-sale?
before the pre-sale.
Before the pre-sale.
Okay. I do have one more question. Let's see here. The Certic Audit, the audit, I see that in Q1, you mentioned contract audit. So I'm assuming that you guys have the audit out of the way already.
Yes,
And
but
that
not.
the Certic is in progress, or is that something that you guys haven't started yet?
So the first audit we have is through a pink sale verified auditor, just for the main token contract. The Certic audit that we have planned, or another high security audit such as Desert Finance or HashX, someone of the sorts, we're going to be doing that after we release after we finalize the staking contracts. So that should be done in Q1, but Certic does take quite some time to audit those contracts. So the moment we are ready to deploy those, is looking at sometime next week is when we'll send it over to get audited, and then from there, however long they take to audit is just how long they take to audit.
Yeah, I know that it takes quite a bit of long time, and I think it costs like 10,000, I think, around here.
Yeah, no, the audit's also not cheap at all. So that's why we're going to do it on the staking contracts when they're finalized, rather than just doing it on the main token contract, because the staking contracts are much more vulnerable.
Regards to your SEX listing in Q2, and with your BSUD rewards, how is that going to work out?
Yeah, so it's that's actually something that we've been talking to a few exchanges about. Not a lot of exchanges support the reward system. So that's something we're figuring out with the exchanges and how that's going to work. We're still discussing with their teams and figuring out the best course of action to make that happen and have the users be able to earn rewards on their tokens.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be a little tough for you guys. The staking and farming platform, would that be ready right after the launch, or is that something that that you guys will be working on?
So that's the staking and farming platform is essentially done. It'll be finalized right after launch, and then it will be audited, of course, and then launched immediately after. So that's basically at this point basically done. But we're not going to release it on launch just because of how launches go, and there's not going to be a whole lot of stability there. So.
Also, again, the right audit is crucial, right?
Yep. Yep.
Before you guys launch that. So, cool. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for the answer.
Yep.
I know you've covered this in other AMAs, but just since we're in another group today, can you guys explain how you're going to work your burn function and how you don't want to waste those tokens? I know you kind of covered a little bit, but what's your guys' option for burning and how are you going to do it?
Yeah, so a lot of people they take excess tokens and burn them immediately on launch, which it brings a lot of hype and whatnot, but it causes a pretty big sell-off in the end, or just a problem down the road. And with the buyback reserve, a lot of people tend to let that buyback build up until a dip is hit or something of the sorts. I had stated this, as you said previously, in an AMA, but the way we're planning on doing it is per market cap milestone. So as the token grows and the market cap gets bigger, the burns are going to be farther spaced out. So in the initial stages, when it's under $1 million market cap, there will be a burn, at 500,000, 600,000, so on and so forth. Then when it gets to $1 million, it will burn every million. And then when it gets to 10 million, it'll burn every 5 million. And we're taking that approach kind of as we see it, a more long-term approach to the buyback and burn. We believe that will give time for the reserve to fill up, as well as give people something to shoot for. Like if we're at a $39 million market cap and people are starting to sell, then we'll remind them like $40 million market cap, this much is getting burned, so on and so forth.
I know you got a question, Mike. What do you got for us, buddy?
Honestly, it's been a very thorough AMA. You guys have been covering everything, so I haven't had really anything to ask.
Yeah, we're trying to go about this very methodically and make sure everyone knows and is on the same page.
Yeah, for sure. No, everything sounds pretty good. Seattle had some great points there, and pretty much all the questions that I was going to throw out there, and see where this can go.
Yeah. No, really appreciate you guys, stopping by and doing AMA. One last question before you guys want to wrap it up here. Big marketing push Q1. Is that something that you guys have started already? Is that something that you guys plan to do after the pre-sale? And if you guys can touch base on that a little bit, on the marketing push, the big marketing push that you guys indicate on there.
Yeah, so the marketing push that we're talking about is tied into an announcement that we're making after launch, as well as marketing. What's the word you want to call it? Marketing plans that we have set up with YouTubers and influencers. So that big marketing push is going to be coming from what we have almost immediately out of the gates. It's going to be one of our first big announcements. And then that will be sustained through YouTubers and other influencers who are promoting this marketing venture that we have. And from there, we're hoping to pick up a lot of new investors and get a lot of new eyes on the project. And then once that marketing push is over, we'll be back onto mainstream marketing, such as PR and advertisements and that sort of thing until, you know, further down when the next the next push will happen. And on top of this, like every time we list on an exchange, that will bring in a good portion of volume and more eyes. So yeah, that big marketing push is referring to something that we have lined up that will be announced immediately after launch.
Cool. Sounds
I had a
good.
question about the launch day. I've noticed
Yeah.
that a lot of the more successful long-term projects, they decide to keep a flat tax. They don't change it. So what are your plans for launch day? The reason I'm bringing this up is I've been in a couple projects where like 20, 25, 30% tax, and they just punish everybody. But part of having a reflection token is having the buys, sells, and transfers. And that's important for filling everybody's bag. So if you have truly vested people that are interested in the project, they're going to hold either way. But by creating a uneven tax, it you know, turns some people off. So I was just wondering what your guys
No, yeah,
thought
it's
is on that and how you're doing it.
yeah, it's funny that you say that because I said the exact same thing, and we discussed it amongst the team. I don't think that changing taxes or altering taxes at launch is something that does anything good for the project long term. I don't think people should be holding the token because there's a 30% tax. I think they should be holding the token because they actually see something in it and they see the vision. Had this literal exact same conversation amongst the team. So at launch, we're going to have a constant, stable 14 buy, 14 sell. It's not going to change at all. And we're keeping it that way because, again, we want people to hold for what we have in store and what we're doing rather than because they feel forced to. And that's just something we believe to be beneficial in the long term.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a very good route to take. Like I said, I've just seen so many projects that had potential that really shot themselves in the foot the first few hours and
Yeah, no,
just destroy the
definitely.
whole momentum.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions or interest topics from some of the material covered?
So, you know what? I did have one question on the staking. Was that an option that's going to be available right out the gate from release, or is that going to be a couple of days to set up there?
So yeah, that's going to be shortly after launch. It'll be set up by, you know, probably Monday of next week, finalized, all the contracts will be deployed, etc. But that's something that we want to get audited before we start actually letting people use it. So you can expect it to be, you know, within a week after launch is a good time frame to put on that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, no worries.
And then
And
for your
regarding
swap
staking,
on
are
your guys'
you able
site,
to share who you're doing the staking through? Like, is it subcontracted through Brew Labs, or do you guys have a developer doing your own custom platform?
Yeah, so the staking's contracted through a third-party development called Mobiloid, and that is it's a company based in Canada, I believe. They have projects, a whole plethora of projects that they've done. So it's outsourced through them, which is another reason why we're going to be getting it audited by a high security team before it's launched officially, just to be sure. But they're a very good group of developers and have done some very good projects in the past.
so for the guy for your guys' swap, are you going to be able to use fiat currencies or like link up a credit card to buy BNB to further buy in the project? How's that going to work for you guys? And then is there extra taxes or fees on top of it for using it?
So the buying with fiat, etc. We're gonna list on Flues while we finalize our swapping function. Ideally, we would like it to be that we can have direct purchases with credit cards on our platform directly. There's a lot more that goes into it behind the scenes and a lot of legality things that happen. So we're going to continue to reach out to the people that we know and try to set that up so that we can obtain that function on our swap. But in the meantime, we'll be on Flues, and if we can't get that set up, then we'll most likely list a third party that can do that and that will allow you to purchase directly with your credit card.
Actually, regarding Flues, I've heard of it. I've heard of them. I know what they are. I just never used it myself. Could you touch base on that? Like, what are the benefits of you guys being on there, and how it benefits the users to use them as well?
Yeah, so Flues, I pulled it up on my screen right here. It's a super interactive and user-friendly platform that people can use. They offer listing packages in a sense. So as you can see on this first page, it's kind of a chat board, so to say, almost like, I guess, Reddit, if you want to call it like that, where people are talking about tokens and or they're showing their swaps. And then on the next page, you have a whole list of cryptocurrencies that you can purchase through them. But you can also buy BNB, which is obviously kind of a pain in the ass if you're trying to buy it. For example, if you're in the US and you're trying to buy it, there's a lot of convoluted ways that you can do it. So Flues makes it pretty straightforward and self-explanatory to purchase with these third parties such as MoonPay or Ramp. And then that kind of opens up the world to new investors and newcomers who, don't know how to get BNB to their wallet or don't know how to search for the contract address and copy it into PancakeSwap, all that stuff. And then they also have a little DEX portion of their website. And they also have a referral link, as you will, for sharing to friends. The benefit of using Flues is mostly that it's super easy to use. The ease of use is incredible for first-time investors, and we think that our platform is going to be just as easy, if not easier. We're looking to make it extremely easy for newbies to get in and learn about cryptocurrency. But so yeah, our listing on Flues it's going to be beneficial just because when we do get that newcomer who doesn't know how to do all that, we'll be able to direct them to the Flues tab on our page, and they'll be able to purchase no problem, no issues.
Cool. Yeah, sounds great. Last night I went on their website for the first time, and I have this token, and it's probably worth around, I would say, $10,000 USD. But when I try to sell it on Flues, their swap showed me that it's worth 30,000, 3x. So I was
Really?
I was like, oh man, I'm gonna make a sell on here. But then looking at it closely, I was getting maybe 1,000 off that if I was to hit the sell button. So yeah,
that's
so
probably
sure.
it's probably a UI thing, if I had to guess, and how it's linked to what they're linking to track the price. It would have been interesting to see what you got if you actually sold, but we've seen them host a plethora of projects that have been very successful, and we think it's something that's pretty beneficial to open up the world to new people and not have to explain 1,000 times in the group how to use PancakeSwap, so to say.
Right, so I think how they approach the whole concept is that I think you have to, reach out to them personally, and somehow you got to get the LP in. But the crazy thing is that I think every coin will show up whether there's LP in it or not. So I think some people that may not be aware of that, I think they can lose a lot of money. So had I hit the sell button yesterday, I would have lost 9,000, I think.
9,000 from your
from a 10,000 usually, yeah. From my
so
on my PancakeSwap will show me it's worth 10,000. I went to Flues, it says that it's worth 30,000. But then when I hit the sell button, it actually tells you the actual, what you will get. It was like 1,000. So
Yeah. So I think that at least the way I've understood it is that in reality it's essentially a DEX where it connects to Pancake Swap router or some other Ape Swap router. That's the way I've understood it. The added benefit of it is the fact that you can purchase BNB directly through, MoonPay or something of the sorts. So I'm not sure that they actually fund their own listings. I was in talks with someone over there on the team, and they have a package of listings that they offer to get it set up and integrated. But it's definitely, I don't believe you fund your own liquidity because the listings were not that expensive, and I don't think that would be beneficial to them or the team if you had to fund that liquidity, and then people would be losing money if they were trading on it. So I believe
I'm
it's just a DEX.
I'm not quite sure exactly how they operate, but that was funny to me last night. I thought I was gonna make some money, but but yeah. Anyway, hey, thanks for the little detailed explanation on that.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool. Final question, I think, for Flu's trade and the package that you purchased, are you going to be trending on there just as another way to get the coin name out there? And what are some of the things you're doing to trend before pre-sale and launch?
Yeah, so we'll be working to trend everywhere we can. Right now, before pre-sale, we've been trending on the pink sale page for about an hour now, I believe, maybe an hour and a half. I'm trying to pull up the link. But any site that, yeah, so we've been, we're now number 7th, but we were trending on pink sale for hour and a half, number 1. And we'll continue to get that and keep that trending, as well as other websites that utilize this trending feature. Will be doing everything to keep our token at the top of the charts and keep people seeing it.
Right on. Well, if anybody or no one else has any questions, I guess we can conclude the AMA here. If you guys want to stick around, we're planning on doing a drawing for the people that participated. I don't know if you want to do it as a question base or if we're just going to do the Google spin the wheel.
Yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to ask if JM had a chance to talk to Malik. So usually, Malik, we don't charge any kind of fees for the AMAs here, but we do like to put out $25 for a group. And I was hoping that, if whether you guys want to match that for a group as well. So it'd be $50 for the participants in here.
Yeah,
sure.
I was talking to someone and had agreed to that $25.
It's perfect, man. Yeah, so we really appreciate you guys coming here and give us a little rundown with your project. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you guys. Be sure to check out the Telegram and get on that website for when we post our info.
Right on. Thank you very much for your time, and stick around. If you guys have any questions for us, just let us know. We're going to be posting the recorded AMA to share with the group for anybody who's in a different time zone or was just unavailable for the time. So
sure thing.
That's what we got for now. Did you need anything from us to send over or post anywhere?
No, I mean we should be all good as long as the recording's posted in the group. Then yeah, we are good.
Perfect. Thanks again for your time. Once again, this was MetaReflect, and we had Malik and Steven that covered the project today. If you have any questions, let us know and check out the recorded AMA. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.